Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are going to be doing our moon flyby by the skin of our teeth here. We've barely got enough DV to do this. So, let's just go ahead and get over to this location, and I'm going to have to be very careful with this, because we have very little margin for error with this current tech level. So, I'll just hold right here, and we will go ahead and warp to next maneuver. It does not appear to be warping. Let's try this again. Warp to next maneuver is not working. Okay. Yeah, this seems to be ever so slightly broken. Note in T plus 2 hours. Wait, what? T plus 2 hours? Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and remake that. Apparently, I passed that previously. So we're gonna try this again. We're gonna just remake the node. I just loaded this save, so that shouldn't be the case. But I do want to just take a quick look here. Yep, that gets us a moon periapsis. And then we just need to raise our return periapsis a little bit. Gonna aim for 20 kilometers. That looks good. Okay. This is slightly more DV, but only like 6, so we should be okay. Now we can warp to next maneuver. Perfect. We did miss a biome there, but I'm not concerned about that right now. This is reset, right? Yes, it is. Status locked. Okay, so 52 seconds. So we want to do this at T minus 26 seconds. And we want to do this very carefully. I'm going to warp forward a little bit here until about T minus 30 seconds. Okay. At T minus 26 seconds, we make this burn. Okay. We want to do this very, very accurately. As accurate as it is possible to be without MechJub. So I'm just focusing on this a little bit more than I normally would. So we have very little margin for error. Okay. We're just gonna keep going a little bit here. Oh, hello. Okay. Now we need to flip over to retrograde side. How are we doing on electric charge? We're doing okay. We have 38 meters per second here. That was too much. We have 36 meters per second once we're done with this. Ah! Too little the first time, too much the second time. These are very minute changes at this point. That'll do. Okay. SAS off. We want to burn no additional power, if we can at all help it. We've broken the speed record. And now, let's check what our moon encounter is like. It's not much of an encounter, but this is enough. So we want to go ahead and warp to right here. Oh, hello. These are in space high, so we definitely want to grab this. Atmospheric pressure scan, mystery goo observation, we'll grab that. Materials study, we'll grab that. And we will collect all of this. Bob is going to EVA, grab the EVA report, and just come on down here, restore the Science Junior. Excellent. And now we'll warp forward. In space high over water right now. Okay, that's shores, that's grasslands. We actually get a separate materials study available here. Okay, we'll grab that, collect that. Not all items could be stored. Okay, so we'll need to get Bob out. And we'll have Bob come down and collect the data. And restore the Science Junior. Okay, now he's in. So, we're out of storage space for the Science Junior in the experimental storage unit and in the reentry module. So we're going to have to keep that inside of the Science Junior for now. So no more material study until we are in space high over the moon. That's shores, water, grasslands. Wait, what? Did we not get... How did we lose our encounter with the moon? I checked it after. Oh, this is our encounter with the moon. Okay, good. We're currently in space high over the moon's midlands, so we will crew report, temperature scan, atmospheric pressure scan, materials study, and now we will need to EVA report. And I'm going to quick save here because... Oh, we can't while it's on a ladder. I'm going to quick save here because this is going to be a little bit risky of an operation. So we're not going to touch this other than just closing the door. We want our EVA report. Okay. SAS on, RCS on. Okay. Let's get in here. And we are going to restore the mystery goo containment unit, close the service bay, and back in we go. Okay, those are always a little bit nerve-wracking. Now we can mystery goo observation, and we keep this. Okay, fantastic. So, we are now done here. We can head on home. We have completed our flyby, made ourselves a good amount of money, and we will get a little bit more even. And goodbye, moon. We are now in space high over Kerbal. I'm going to turn SAS back on at this point. And we want to be aimed retrograde. Specifically, orbital retrograde. Okay. Excellent. Now, we're going to have to perform a re-entry burn. There's no doubt about that. So we may not be able to recover this engine. We'll see. Without aero brakes, it's going to be spicy, for sure. We're going to go ahead and warp this way and see just how much speed we build up as we approach Kerbal. And we will go ahead and stop time warp if we come across something. But we've only got 37 meters per second. We're going to burn off every bit of speed that we possibly can on the way in here. In fact, we may just burn it retrograde radial like this, and we obviously don't have anywhere near what we need to actually pull this off in terms of DV. That's fine. I'm doing this just for the maneuver node. We want this to be about here. Additional retrograde. I'm actually going to redo this. I messed it up a little bit. So we want to burn about like this, just for the directionality of the actual burn. So we want to burn right about I mean, here would do. Okay, so we don't want to burn this for a while. We'll go ahead and warp to that maneuver. And we're going to burn the last little bit of our... Actually, should we just burn horizontal speed? We're going to be pretty close. This periapsis would be quite high. So a bit more prograde and anti-radial like this. Okay, that's about the direction that we want to be at. So we're going to go ahead and be on stability assist for right now. And we want to burn this just as we're dipping into the atmosphere. So I'm going to lock to this position. And we're going to warp forward a little ways. Now we're in the atmosphere. And we're just going to do the tiny little re-entry burn that we can do. And that's all we've got. That was able to drop our apoapsis a fair amount, so that's good. We have a lot of speed here that we need to bleed off. Like I said, we may be losing this engine. We'll see. And we're not grabbing this EVA report. This is a fast re-entry, but we were targeting 30 kilometers knowing that this would be a fast re-entry. Yeah, this engine is probably going to burn off. Ooh, we're getting heating effects on the re-entry module. I'm a little surprised about that. Hopefully we slow down enough. We're slowing down quite dramatically. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have our module burn up, which would be good. Anything below here, like anything below this service bay, I'm fine with it burning off if it has to. Okay, there goes our camera mode. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be fine. I don't think we're going to have anything burn off. But we may be moving too quickly when we hit the water for this engine to survive. If we're even going to come in the water. We're definitely going to come in on the dark side. There's no doubt about that. And I think we are going to come in the water. It's a bit of a risky re-entry, to be sure. Once we drop below 1,500 meters per second, I'm going to turn the SAS off. Right now, SAS is off, and we're going to let it tumble a bit. Because this will allow us to slow down even faster. Perfect. I think we're okay. We're still pretty high up. Yeah, this is fine. Drogue chutes can be deployed now. And I'm going to go ahead and start physics warping. Main chute can now be deployed. Perfect. That re-entry went shockingly well. Also, we got another 18,000 for escaping the gravitational influence of the moon. That was... we had almost no Delta V to spare. But that should allow us to have enough money, in theory, for some extra things. Which would be awful nice. Upgrading the VAB. And this is going to get us a lot of science. Now, we don't have any Delta V for a landing burn here whatsoever. And we're coming in at about 9 meters per second, so I think that means this engine is probably going to go away. I don't think it survives this impact. I think it's 7 meters per second that these engines can survive. But here we go. We're about to find out. Yeah. Okay. We actually lost the tanks, too. Luckily, the service bay survived. So we're good. Everything that we needed to survive, survived. So, with that in mind, we can recover this. Look at all that science. Look at all that money. Glorious. So our next mission would be to orbit the moon, go on an orbital spacewalk near the moon. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Plant a flag on the surface of the moon. We're not going to do that immediately, but we are going to do that. What else do we have here? Test the thumper at the launch site. That's just free money. We will accept that. Okay. Those contracts all seem very solid. Now we can upgrade the VAB with a level 2 VAB. And with that, we're not going to need to upgrade for a while. We may need to upgrade the launch pad eventually. We don't need to upgrade mission control. We might want to think about upgrading our administration building, though. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's go for... Let's see. We want to do a fundraising campaign? Oh, right. I think we get rid of the unpaid research program at this point, and we go ahead and do a fundraising campaign with a 60% commitment, but we don't have the reputation for that. A 46% commitment. Yes, do it. Okay, so that'll get us additional funds. Now, the other thing that we need to upgrade is our research and development. We cannot do that quite yet, though. We don't quite have the money. So, I do want to make sure that we get... Let's see, we cannot get air brakes yet. We can get landing parts. I think what we are most interested in right now is these radial decouplers. That might be our best bet. So we'll grab this. We also probably want access to the solar panels so we don't have to worry about our ground, or rather about our energy. That'll probably be a good thing. Let's see, anything we really need here? Not really, at least not for this mission. A lot of these things we'll need for our landing on the moon, but we're not going to be landing on the moon this particular run. Advanced SAS would probably be a good thing to get. So we'll grab that, and we'll just get this aviation out of the way. Okay, so that'll do for now. And that means that we can make some slight modifications to the Grasshopper 2i, this particular craft right here. Now, the modifications that I want to make are essentially as follows. We are going to ditch this SAS module right here, and we are going to put in a new, larger SAS module right here. Our center core is going to remain basically identical, except we're going to upgrade this from a T200 tank to a T400 tank, which means that we may as well have this actually be a T800. It'll be slightly cheaper. There we go. And now we're going to completely redo these two stages. So we're going to ditch those. We are going to use our fancy new, not hydraulic attachment points. We're going to use these radial decouplers. It gives us a little bit more space to work with. And we're going to drop them right about here, but we're going to need our center of mass and aerodynamic overlay. Our center of mass is currently way up here, so this rocket would be too stable right now. As in, we would not be able to gravity turn. That said, we are going to be placing these tanks over here, and I do want to move them down a little bit more from here. About there. Excellent. And we're going to run another T800, and then we're going to run a pair of Reliance out here. Now, I do think that this is kind of ridiculously low. If we raise this up, though, that changes our center of mass dramatically. Like, we actually need our center of mass to be, like, here. But that's really awkward. So I think we'll have it be here, and maybe change the vertical position of this to be like this. This is still very silly looking, don't get me wrong. But this should be pretty stable. We'll just lift that up a little bit. And, yeah, that's real awkward looking. But that's fine. So we'll then put this on. This is ridiculous. I love it. I think what we really need, though, is we need another T800 fuel tank in this stage, assuming we've got the thrust to weight for it. Then, we can, in theory, take these off of here and place them a bit more like this. Even then, our center of mass is off a little bit. And this is a really tall rocket. Yeah, that's a slight problem. What's our thrust to weight? How bad is it? Actually, this would lift. Without the side boosters, this does not lift. So we'd be going backwards for a little bit during the flight if we ran this as is. I suppose we could downgrade this to a T400 plus a T200. Like this. That's 0.97 thrust to weight. That's enough thrust to weight to keep going. Not by much, but to keep going a little bit. Okay, so we'd attach that on something like this. We could then theoretically lift these quad-coupled. Quad-coupled, thank you very much, for that sweet, sweet center of lift being right there would be about, I think, ideal. These are a little offset from where I want them to be rotationally. Yeah, that's safer. So, I mean, this is slightly less ridiculous looking, but still pretty ridiculous. Our thrust to weight in this stage, well, we need to move this like so. Our thrust to weight in this stage, assuming our staging is all correct, which it does look to be, is 1.53. What if, hypothetically, we added another pair of T800s? 1.26. 1.25. I can deal with that. I really wish we could move these up for appearance sake, but having these up here puts our... I suppose what we could do is we could have it like this, but that's less safe for detachment. Yeah, that's definitely less safe. So one thing we could hypothetically do is have this all the way up here, like this, and then attach this in up here. Like, I actually don't want it to be attached in the center. But unfortunately, I'm not sure we have a choice. That's the furthest down we can place it. And of course, this is not exactly the angle that I'd like this to be at. Is this a significant enough change to be a Grasshopper 3? Maybe. So we would need our center of lift to then be quad-coupled, and to then be about right here. That's still really awkward looking, but I suppose it's a little less awkward. And then we would want to transfer fuel in from the outside in, like that. This is very awkward looking. I'm not going to dispute that. But that's not the point. Then we'll put this in over here. And the sheer amount of DV that this has, this will be more than enough to get to the moon Like, more than just that flyby. So something kind of like this. And we'll call this the 2-3. We have the 2-1 and the 2-3. Perfect. Not confusing at all. Okay, well, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we will try the first flight of this monstrosity in the next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.